What's up, everyone? This is episode 74 of Talk Wrestling here on the best website known to man. I'm not just talking wrestling, I'm talking about anywhere. NoDQ.com, as well as YouTube, MySpace, Facebook, Twitter. What else are we on there? Is that it? That's it, okay. We got a good response last couple shows, despite the presence and the mentioning of our new boss, Noah Donish, but that's okay. You know, like I said, I got my show back. I don't give a shit. I'm happy. So, whatever. We have a lot of stuff to cover. We have a DVD review today, the first one ever. We have a VRQ. And we have 8 questions. 8. I can't count. 8. From you people, just for me. So honored, so privileged. Let's get to it. Alright, time for a new segment here on Talk Wrestling. This is the DVD review of the week. This is something that my old buddy used to do on XMV. He used to do his DVD pick of the week. I'm not going to do a big long review and go over every single thing on the DVD, but I will cover the basics. The Rise and Fall of ECW. One of the better DVD releases that WWE ever put out, and it led to the rebirth of the original ECW for a brief time. And now it is what it is. But for a while there, we were hopeful because we had Rob Van Dam as the WWE champion, and we had, you know, the ECW originals back, and we had a lot of new talent, and it was awesome. But now it was for naught. Anyway, Rise and Fall. I like the layout of this very much. It goes over the entire history of ECW. So does the book, actually. The book is very well written, too. It's very much the same layout as the DVD in terms of the history of ECW, how it sprung to life out of Joel Goodhart's wrestling promotion, and how Eddie was the booker, Eddie Gilbert was the booker, Paul was with him, Todd Gordon was the owner, and how when Eddie left, Paul stepped in at Ultra Clash 93, and it was on for the next 7 years, and it was tremendous to watch ECW grow. I was not a fan of ECW until 1999, so watching this and watching the history was like, wow, this is really cool. You know, I mean, when you talk about ECW, you talk about the promos, you talk about the Austin promos, you talk about the Cactus Jack promos, the Raven promos, the Sandman promos, the infamous promo that Paul cut on TNN toward the end of 2000 when he dared TNN to throw him off of the air. The lesbian angle with Beulah and Kimona, the pregnancy angle that led to the lesbian angle with Beulah and Tommy and Raven and Stevie. Just an all-around, tremendously well-written, well-produced DVD. I can't recommend a better DVD by WWE. I really can't, I don't think. WrestleMania 21 is up there as far as production value and as far as layout and as far as content. But I think, personally, this is my favorite WWE released DVD. And that includes the Hulk Hogan DVD. This is my favorite, by far. So, if you don't have this yet, if you haven't heard the hoopla, if you haven't gone out and bought this yet, I'm showing for WWE right now. Go find the Rise and Fall of ECW on WWEshop.com or on highspots.com or on Amazon.com, wherever you can find it, and watch this. If you were a fan of ECW or if you weren't, you'll enjoy this. This is great. There's inside comments from everybody. Paul, Rob, Taz, Tommy, the Dudleys, all 3 of them. You know, Chris Jericho, Steve Austin, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, said the B word. All those guys, they're all on here. It's really, really well done DVD. Alright, here's today's VRQ. It comes from Famous X Dude X. I'm assuming he's just going to be Famous Dude on YouTube. You can check him out at youtube.com/xfamousxdudex. Here's his question.
Hey, Jeff, this is a question for the VRQ response question for Talk Wrestling. Make it short and quick because you like questions like that. If John Morrison wins the world championship, when would it be? Would it be this year, like towards the end of 2009, or the beginning of next year, like 2010? Please answer this on the show. I watch the show all the time. please answer this for me. Thank you.
I know I mentioned John Morrison winning world championships before, but I'll go ahead and talk about this. They've been pushing John Morrison a lot lately. As far as maybe he'll win the world title on SmackDown, maybe he won't. If he does become world champion, because let's face it, in my opinion, he's already been a world champion because he was ECW champion back in 2007. If he does win the World Heavyweight Championship, the SmackDown Championship, I think it won't be till next year. I mean, the growing here we go with the bugs. The growing consensus is it looks like it's going to be CM Punk regaining the title at SummerSlam in the TLC match, which was announced on SmackDown tonight, I believe, if you're going to see this on Friday. This particular fly is going to bug me all show. I guarantee it. It's okay. So it doesn't look like Morrison's gonna win the world title until at least 2010, if not beyond. He's got a bright future ahead of him, though. He's got a long career ahead of him. He's young. He's hot. He's got that it factor. So he'll last for a while, and he won't need to be world champion. He's got the it factor without being the top dog. So don't look for him to win the world title soon. All right, this is from Dustin. Out of the pro wrestling factions that lived for a while, which was your favorite? My personal favorite faction was a tie between the NWO Wolfpack, because I had my favorite wrestler in it, Sting, and Evolution, because I've always been a big Batista fan. He's gonna die, because he's slowing down. He's on his deathbed, so I'm gonna get him before the next show, hopefully. Good question. I love the factions, man. You gotta love the factions. I loved the original NWO before half the roster joined the group. Hogan, Hall, Nash, Giant, Six, DiBiase. That NWO was good. The Wolfpack was okay. I like Nash and Sting and Luger and Savage for a while and Conan. I love Legacy right now. The three-man faction: Orton, DiBiase, and Rhodes. I liked Evolution. Triple H, Flair, Orton, Batista. My favorite, though, would have to be the original NWO, like I just said, or the DX, Army DX. I'm talking about Triple H, X-Pac, the Outlaws, and Chyna. Those are my two favorites. Both great factions, both at the height of their company's popularity, were the dominant group. With WWE, with DX, of course, it was anybody not named Stone Cold was the dominant faction, because Austin was the man back then. But DX held its own. DX was awesome. They feuded with the Nation, which was awesome. The Nation was another good faction, too. The Rock, Mark Henry, Godfather, D-Lo, and Farouk for a while when they were the five-man group. That was awesome, too. But, there's been a lot of good factions in wrestling. So, what's your guys' favorite? Let me know. Alright, this one's from Jesse Richard, Jesse Blue Eye on MySpace. Speaking of CM Punk, do you think they elevated CM Punk a little too quickly? In 3 years, he's held the IC title once, a tag team title run, and 3 world titles, with 2 coming from Money in the Bank wins. In my eyes, the cashing in the Money in the Bank title shots hurt his credibility at the main event, since he won 2 world titles with sneak attacks as a face. No gripe against Punk, he's a great athlete, just think WWE booked him to rise a little fast, considering, for example, Jeff Hardy, who spent at least a decade in WWE for his first title run. That's a good question. I don't know if they elevated him too quickly. I mean, you look at, Diesel back in the day, then again, the fans didn't like Diesel. They kind of shit on him as WWE champion when he was champion back in 1994-95. But the fans like Punk, even as a heel, they like him. I don't see a problem with elevating him so quickly. 3 world titles for Punk? I thought he only had 2. 3, really? Okay. Take it back. Oh, that's right, because he won the world. That's right. You're right. 3. Okay. If you count the ECW title. 3, I think. I lost track. Punk, you know, people have heard my opinions about CM Punk as a person, but I fail to mention what a great athlete he is and what a tremendous draw he can be as either babyface or heel. The WWE is getting behind him. They like him. I don't like him as a person. I'll say that over and over again. But I do like him as a athlete, as a performer, as a champion, as a wrestler. He's good. He's very good. So if they want to elevate him, I say all for it. By all means, go for it. Chris from Detroit wants to know why WWE is making Chavo Guerrero job to hornswoggle every week. Chavo has great talent. I think he deserves to have real competition and maybe even go after the U.S. title in the future. I also think WWE shouldn't think about releasing Chavo because he could carry on the Guerrero legacy and maybe get a new theme song too. I don't know why they're having Chavo be a jobber, you know, to be honest with you. But you know what? They wouldn't do it unless he was... I mean, if he was dead set opposed, oh my god, I hate this, I don't want to do this, he wouldn't do it. And WWE wouldn't make him do it. They have a little bit of creative leeway with their own stuff. So, you know, Chavo must like being a jobber now. Chavo must like doing it, or they wouldn't make him do it. As far as him carrying on the Guerrero legacy, the Guerrero legacy, I'm sad to say, has been buried and, you know, dirt piled on top of it after Vicky and Chavo's exploits in the last 2 years. You know, ever since Vicky came back and was the general manager for the time she was general manager, and then Chavo just being Chavo the last couple of years. Yes, he was ECW champion, but that really doesn't say much. I think the legacy died with Eddie. I'm sad to say that, but it's true. This one is from Kyle. Who do you see as most likely to jump from the indie scene to the more mainstream, aka big time? Personally, I think that Mike DiBiase, Austin Aries, Cole Cabana, the Briscoe Brothers, Davey Richards, and Apollo. Well, you mentioned both Mike DiBiase and Apollo. They're both wrestling for the NWA right now. Apollo's I believe, the NWA North American champion, which was held by Mike DiBiase at one point. DiBiase wouldn't surprise me to come up and join his big brother, maybe the little brother, I don't remember, but to join his brother Ted in the WWE. Austin Aries, you know, he's a tremendous talent. I've always liked Austin Aries, and I think he's very, very good. Former Epic War champion when it was just War. He's awesome. Cole Cabana was in the big time, if you recall, as Scotty Goldman, and we all saw how well that went for Cole Cabana. Pushed for about 6 days, and then fired. Maybe even 5 days. Kind of sad. The Briscoes, not Jack and Jerry, and God bless Jerry Briscoe. He had a stroke recently. He's recovering. God wishes to him, best speedy recovery to him. But the new Briscoe brothers, Mark and Jay, you know, I don't know, maybe them. Davey is an old accomplice of mine, as far as working for Adrenaline Unleashed, working for Epic War, working for Gorilla. I didn't work for Gorilla, but you know, he's tremendous. I wouldn't mind seeing him. And Apollo, his character is more indie driven, but if they do something different with him, maybe. I mean, he was in TNA. I believe it's the same Apollo that was TNA NWA Tag Team Champion with D'Lo Brown. He was in TNA back when TNA wasn't a mainstream property. Any of those guys could do it. It's just a matter of, will they do it? Breeze, what are my thoughts on the release of Brian Kendrick? I'm happy. Not happy so much that Kendrick's gone, but happy that he gets to go back to the indie scene and ply his trade and do what he wants to do, because now he's going to be at Pro Wrestling Guerrilla's next event out here on August 28th. I won't get to go to that because I'll be doing an LA Kings event, but if you're out here in Southern California and you want to see Brian Kendrick, he's wrestling the American Dragon Bryan Danielson, one of the best, if not the best in the world. That's going to be a phenomenal match on its own. They got a good card stacked up for this month. Come out and see Gorilla. Kendrick, you know, from what I read, was the driver of big trucks. No, okay. pothead, and he made no apologies about it. And you know what? Whatever. Damn fly. If he didn't care enough, then WWE was right to let him go, you know. But if it was something else, which I don't know what's going on for sure, I haven't heard. But you know, if it was the pot thing, then whatever. Then WWE's just being petty. But you know, my thoughts are good for him. Oh, there's two of them now, Aaron. There's two of them now. They're ganging up on me. My thoughts are if they released him because of the pot, that's petty and that's sad, and they lost a great talent. And the fact that Paul's gone too, hopefully they get back together in the indie circuit, because him and Paul were a great tag team, longest reigning SmackDown tag team champions ever. This is from Isaac Paul Freely. I saw No DQ SummerSlam rankings where 2002 was at the top and 2007 was at the bottom. Do you agree with these results? And what were some of the best and worst SummerSlam moments? Well, I definitely agree 2007 was the worst. You know, Aaron and I both watched it at Aaron's house, and that was god-awful. I don't even remember what happened at that SummerSlam. That's 2007. That was, what was the main event?
Cena Orton.
Cena Orton, yeah. That's right.
It again.
Yeah, and we're getting it again. The same event. This is 3 times they've had a main event to themselves. They had No Way Out of 08 too. Orton got himself DQ'd.
I was there for that.
You were there. You were there for that. That's right. God, that's hideous. Ugh. And the whole card was just god awful. I can't remember what happened. It was that bad. It was a bad. 2002 was very, very good. You had Rock and Brock. You had Angle and Mysterio. You had Undertaker and Test. You had the tag title match. You had Michaels and Triple H, which was one of the best matches I've ever seen. Yeah, you had the flies bugging me, which was just pissing me off. This is the fly show again. We haven't had a fly show in a long time. I think I agree with that, personally. I agree with cars going by and making noise, and, you know. I agree with 2002 being the best SummerSlam. Some of the better and worst ones, I mentioned those ones, 2002. 91, of course, Randy and Liz getting married. That was so sweet. The match made in hell from that same SummerSlam. The jailhouse match with Bossman and Mountie, where Mountie spent the night in jail. And ran into his the man in leather at the very end of the night. That was just disturbing. 92, Bulldog and Brett. Can't find a better SummerSlam match except for 91, Mr. Perfect Bret Hart. You know, 1990 Demolition and the Hart Foundation, 2 out of 3 falls. 88, the Mega Bucks, the Mega Powers. You know, any of those moments are great. SummerSlam has been one of the better delivering pay-per-views in the last 20 years, for the most part. They've had a few weak SummerSlams. They've had a few good SummerSlams. They've had a few awesome SummerSlams. SummerSlam's generally a better pay-per-view than most. That'll do it for episode 74 of Talk Wrestling. Again, you can catch everything related to Summerfest? I thought Summerfest was the Access thing. You know, I'm going to that. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. But whatever WWE's pay-per-view event for the summer is called, you can find coverage at NoDQ.com. You can also find updates at twitter.com/NoDQDOTCOM, Facebook, MySpace. You can find me on Twitter at Jeff_Meacham. MySpace.com/Jeff Meacham. I won't friend you, but I'll talk to you. Oh, that's right. Noah, our fearless leader, has an announcement for episode 75. A huge announcement for the next episode of Talk Wrestling. I can't wait to see what he's going to do this time. The last time, he floored everybody and made me walk off the set. So you have to tune in and see what's going on. See you next time.